Now on Fox 14, Oklahoma's governor grants clemency to death row inmate Julius Jones.
Better agenda gaining momentum on Capitol Hill. I'm Caroline Shively. I'll have the latest on where the proposal stands coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Oklahoma's governor has commuted the sentence of death row inmate Julius Jones. Just hours before Jones's scheduled execution, the Republican governor revised the sentence to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This comes more than 2 decades after the 1999 killing of a suburban Oklahoma City businessman. Mariah Villarreal reports from the state capitol in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt stepped in at the 11th hour, canceling Thursday's scheduled execution of Julius Jones.
You are worthy, God. Thank you, God.
The decision came after the state's Pardon and Parole Board asked the Republican governor to commute Jones's sentence to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
I am not the person responsible for taking Mr. Howell's life.
On July 28, 1999, Paul Howell was murdered outside his parents' Edmond, Oklahoma home in front of his family. His SUV was stolen, and a witness reported seeing a black man with a red bandana and 1 to 2 inches of hair shoot the father of 2. 3 days later, 19-year-old Julius Jones was arrested. His family says eyewitness descriptions did not match Jones, who at the time had a shaved head. They also say he was at home at the time of the murder. Wednesday, his mother, surrounded by supporters, pleaded for his release.
But the truth will set you free. We talk about justice. Justice for who? Justice for all of us.
Paul Howell's family spoke to CBS ahead of Thursday's decision and believes Jones was responsible for the fatal shooting.
He was an innocent man taking his kids to get ice cream with my aunt, and he was murdered in front of me and my sister and my aunt, all for a car.
This is the first death row clemency case Governor Stitt has faced.
A number of celebrities, also sports stars, also rallied to save Jones's life. 2 men convicted of the murder of civil rights leader Malcolm X were exonerated today. Their names cleared after spending decades in prison. A New York Supreme Court justice threw out the convictions of Muhammad Aziz and Khalil Islam, saying it was clear neither received a fair trial. The 2 have always maintained their innocence. A third suspect admitted to the killing and said Aziz and Islam were not involved. Still, all 3 were convicted. Silver Dollar City shut down for the day today because of 2 fires. Workers discovered the fire from Heartland Home Furnishings to Flossie's Fried Fancies in the lower western portion of Silver Dollar City. 3 buildings were damaged. Authorities are still working to determine the exact cause of the fire. The park will open tomorrow as scheduled. An area homeless shelter says they're in good shape ahead of Thanksgiving. The Carthage Crisis Center plans to deliver more than 300 meals to area residents on Thanksgiving and wants those meals to be complete, so they're still in need of a few items, mainly sweet potatoes. Officials say they haven't really been overall affected by supply chain issues, though.
I think the Carthage area and even southwestern Missouri is kind of bucking the trend for having a lot of need. We were worried when we heard the national news, but we've been looking at the stores and we think we're going to be okay.
Crisis Center is at 100 North Main Street in Carthage. Joplin Youth Council is encouraging families to read over Thanksgiving break. The council hosted a literacy event for families with children between the ages of 3 and 10. Families were asked to donate a book that will be passed along to area organizations working with children on reading.
We have like a literacy initiative, primarily just trying to increase literacy within the Joplin area and also promote a love for learning and reading. So this is just our first kickoff event where we just hope to engage the youth within our community.
To join the Joplin Youth Council, a student must be a Joplin resident and in 10th through 12th grade at a Joplin school. Newton County Health Department has extended its WIC contract and will continue providing services to local families. WIC is a special supplemental nutrition program that provides services to pregnant women, new mothers, infants, and children up to their 5th birthday based on nutritional risk and income eligibility. Primary services provided are health screening, risk assessment, nutrition education and counseling, breastfeeding promotion, and referrals to health care.
With the excess, we use some of it for outreach to try to get more people in. So some of that money, if we have any extra, last year we used all of it So this year is the first year that we're operating with a little bit less clientele, but with the same amount of funding. So we're using that extra funding to try to get more people into the WIC clinic.
WIC supplemental food packages are specifically chosen to provide foods that high in protein, iron, calcium, and vitamins A and C. Back and forth over COVID containment measures is intensifying as new cases increase throughout the country. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more from Atlanta.
Public health officials are sounding the alarm about a possible fifth nationwide COVID surge. We're now averaging about 90,000 cases every day in the U.S., up 19% from last week, and the highest level in over a month. To help stop the spread, at least 8 states and New York City are now offering vaccine boosters to all adults ahead of an FDA decision about whether to expand access nationwide. And officials in those states are pleading with the public to roll up their sleeves.
We are all sick and tired of this, and that is why I am pleading with people, help us get through this.
The spike in cases also has some city and states re-implementing COVID restrictions, and a number of private companies are following suit. Disney Cruises announcing Wednesday that every passenger over the age of 5 must now be fully vaccinated, drawing mixed reactions from parents.
Children become the next victim, and so it's really important that children get vaccinated.
We're going to lose customers because I just don't think any vaccine mandate is appropriate.
But other states are going in the opposite direction. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signing 4 new bills that essentially ban mask and vaccine mandates in the state, claiming it's the best way to get the economy moving again.
No police officer, no trucker, no anybody should lose their job because of these COVID jabs. Yeah. And that's what we're doing.
And OSHA says for now it will not enforce a nationwide vaccine mandate after a federal judge put it on hold. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
The president's Build Back Better agenda gained steam today on Capitol Hill. Fox's Caroline Shively has more on where the nearly $2 trillion social spending bill stands heading into Thanksgiving recess.
This is going to be a wonderful Thanksgiving.
With just 1 week remaining until Thanksgiving Day, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi voiced optimism the president's Build Back Better bill will soon become law and deliver nearly $2 trillion in social spending and climate investments pledged by President Biden.
It's pretty exciting. This is historic. It is transformative.
On the House floor, debate over the spending bill kicked off Thursday with lawmakers split along party lines.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to transform the lives of millions of Americans.
Build back better. How about put things back the way they were before you broke them?
But Republicans and some moderates, including Democratic Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, aren't convinced and say it's too costly and adds to the nation's inflation.
Turkeys are higher, I know that. I've heard my whole family told me turkey prices are high. So everyone's concerned. They should be concerned about inflation because it's real.
At the White House, President Biden worked to align with North American allies on economic challenges impacting the continent, as Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. addressed supply chain disruptions.
We should be building back in a more significant, more environmentally friendly way.
Not only are more Americans getting back to work with unemployment claims dropping, they're also doing more shopping. The latest Census Bureau report shows retail sales rose last month. Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another 4-state hero. William Kaler served in the U.S. Navy in the 1960s. Native of Fairland, Oklahoma, Kaler served aboard the USS Hornet. And we are proud to thank and salute 3rd Class Petty Officer William Kaler. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Doug Hedges next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, P-State women picking up a big W in their home opener behind a big day from freshman Grace Pyle. Going to have highlights in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a chilly day for us today, but at least we had the sunshine across the region after a cold start. It's going to be another cold night for us tonight. It's getting cold out there as we speak. Nice live shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but it looks pretty good. Still, we have clear skies. We are going to get some clouds in here by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. Look at our temps. Most of us upper 20s to near 30. We're going to continue to drop off a little bit more as we go through the overnight hours. The winds have kind of decreased. to near calm, and of course with clear skies it allows those temperatures to drop off. Looks good. 7th and Rangeline currently sitting at 31. Our dew point is 23. This will come up a little bit. That number will go down. Probably end up at about 26 or 7 later on tonight, but nothing going on here. We have clear skies, and really the entire Central Plains pretty much clear. You can see some clouds developing out across western parts of Kansas, and that will start to affect us by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. But our weather looks pretty good the next couple days. You can see this little ridge of high pressure. Then here's our next wave, which is going to push in by the time we head into Saturday night and Sunday, giving us some cooler weather once again for early next week. Cold tonight, mid-20s, clear skies. We do have the almost total lunar eclipse, and it's the longest partial lunar eclipse that we've had in over 500 years, so quite some time. Southerly winds will pick up for us tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures a little bit warmer than what we saw today. 6 a.m. 27, 50 by noon, 54 as we head into the afternoon. South winds at about 5 to 15. Clouds work out tomorrow night, and as we head into Saturday, not as chilly Saturday morning. We'll start into lower 40s. Clouds kind of back in Saturday afternoon, but temperature is better. I think most of us are going to go 60, 61 degrees by the time we head into Saturday. So Saturday looks good. And then Saturday night, a few random showers may try to pop up, especially in our southern counties. Another cold front kind of sinks in. Still Sunday in general looks pretty good. We're going to go into the upper 50s, but then that colder air is going to filter in by Monday, and we're going to struggle to get out of the 40s once again. We go the other direction. Tuesday, warming up. Wednesday, warming up. And then by the time we head into Thanksgiving, here comes our next storm system, cooling down, chances for rain increasing, may even mix with a little bit of snow by the time we head into Black Friday. So that's something we're going to keep our eyes on over the next week. 54 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, 58 on Sunday, down to 47 on Monday, 57 on Tuesday, 60s on Wednesday, and then 50s for Thanksgiving. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thank you so much. Coming up, still no verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
The jury's safety becoming a point of focus as they deliberate the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse for a third day. I'm Mallory Rivera in Kenosha, Wisconsin with the details coming up.
With gas prices skyrocketing, the White House is demanding answers. President Biden asking the Federal Trade Commission to investigate potential illegal conduct that could be driving up the cost of gas. Biden addressed the matter in a letter to the FTC chair yesterday, asking her to look into, quote, mounting evidence of anti-consumer behavior by oil and gas companies. This comes as Americans get ready to travel, of course, for the Thanksgiving holiday this week. Gas prices nationwide are up nearly 50% from last year, with the average cost for a gallon of fuel sitting at $3.41. The fate of Rittenhouse hangs in the balance as the jury works to determine whether Kyle Rittenhouse was the instigator or acting in self-defense when he shot 3 men, killing 2 during turbulent protests in Kenosha last year. But for a third day, no verdict has returned. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is outside the courthouse in Kenosha with details.
The 7 women and 5 men considering the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse wrapping up their third day of deliberations. At least one of them asking to take juror instructions home. The judge granting the request and reminding them about the rules before they were sent home.
Don't read, watch, or listen to any account of the trial. Don't discuss the case with anyone, not even with your fellow jurors.
Earlier in the day, the jurors' safety called into question after a man affiliated with MSNBC was caught allegedly following the jury bus as they left the courthouse Wednesday night. Kenosha police are investigating the incident. The media outlet responding in a statement saying in part, quote, the freelancer never contacted or intended to contact the jurors during deliberations and never photographed or intended to photograph them. We regret the incident and will fully cooperate with the authorities on any investigation.
I have instructed that no one from MSNBC News will be permitted in this building for the duration of this trial.
Meanwhile, the judge not yet ruling on 2 motions for a mistrial by the defense. One focusing on evidence in which they say the state withheld higher quality drone video, allegedly giving them a lower resolution version of crucial footage claiming to show Rittenhouse pointing a gun at protesters before the first fatal shooting. The video shown by the prosecution only during closing arguments.
All right, up next, using the old for something new.
The saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, is proving true. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at how one community is using plastic waste to build schools. Coming up.
CVS is closing about 900 stores. The chain says it's going to be shutting the stores down over the next 3 years as it shifts to a digital strategy, adjusting to shoppers who are buying more online. CVS says it's going to turn its stores into healthcare destinations. Store closures will start in the spring of 2022. Faced with construction material shortages and an escalating trash problem, one community is using an inventive strategy to help solve both issues. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty explains.
Ongoing labor and material shortages are causing construction projects across the country to stall, with the industry seeing costs skyrocket by more than 12% last month as the price of lumber still remains high. But construction problems aren't just isolated to the U.S. Overseas in Johannesburg, South Africa, one community facing a waste disposal crisis is also low on building materials. So residents are killing two birds with one stone by turning trash into bricks. These are called eco bricks. They're made from 2-liter bottles volunteers fill with either bits of plastic or sand, and community members are using them to create classrooms so young people have a place to receive an education.
We used 16,000 eco bricks to build this classroom. 4,000 of them we use them for foundation because our foundation has to be strong. And that 4,000 was made out of the Saint eco bricks. 12,000 was then what we used for the walls.
Because each brick needs to contain a pound of waste to be strong enough for use, officials are able to clean up thousands of pounds of trash and prevent it from hurting wildlife.
So in total, we managed to get rid of about 3.5 tons of plastic, which is pollution that could have ended up in our environment.
But this community is building more than just schools. They have plans to start making a library and a recreational center out of eco bricks this month. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Another oddity of 2021, scientists say the human brain is getting smaller. Gonna have more on this. The human brain is shrinking and scientists are not sure why. That's good news, right? According to research published in the journal Brain Behavior and Evolution, the brain has been growing at a disproportionate rate to our bodies. The change in brain size didn't just happen overnight, though. Scientists say brain mass in Homo sapiens has been decreasing over the last 50,000 years, amounting to a more than 5% decrease in size. Experts are also not sure if this has any effect on human cognition, with some arguing brain size has very little to begin with intelligence. Interesting anyway. You've heard about this year's hottest toys, but what about the year's worst toys? A watchdog organization called World Against Toys Causing Harm, Inc. has released its list of 2021's worst toys to buy. Each of the 10 toys listed has been chosen as a potential hazard to a child. Items such as the My Life as a Shopping Basket, a Learn to Play Drum, and the perfectly cute My Little's Baby Feed and Go set are accused of having a risk of suffocation or choking. While other toys like the Rollers Light Up Heel Skates and Radio Flyer Spin and Saucer could cause impact injuries. According to Watch, every 3 minutes a child is sent to the ER for a toy-related injury. So, if you want to be safe, there you go. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. It's time for the annual Empty Bowls event. Chance to get some good soup, while also supporting those in need. Plus, a book reading and release party for a Missouri Southern adjunct professor. Watered Gardens hosted its annual Empty Bowls fundraiser today at Choplin's Empire Market. As in years past, people can buy handcrafted soup bowls, then fill them up. Soup from area restaurants. We sent photojournalist Derek Knighting there to learn more.
Our 9th annual Empty Bowls here at the Empire Market. This is an event where local potters for the whole year have been making these bowls. They're all handcrafted, they're microwave safe, they're dishwasher safe. Each one's unique, and they donate them. So we've had over 1,000 bowls donated from over 9 different pottery studios.
Here, of course you can. Once you take that and let her see that, take the lid off and let her see that. I'm gonna give it a, you want to stir it and you can kind of see. It's smoked chicken and dumplings. So this is a huge asset for Hope Kitchen. This is quite a benefit for our organization because we are a nonprofit. This is one of those opportunities where we get to partner with Water Gardens through the Empty Bowls fundraiser, and part of the proceeds from this event go to help Hope Kitchen stay open and keep doing what we're doing in Neosho.
20 area restaurants provided the soup for today's event. Allison Blevins is an adjunct professor at Missouri Southern, and today she released her very own poetry book. Blevins says the book, titled Slowly, Suddenly, deals with trauma, disabilities, and queer experience. The MSSU English and Philosophy Department hosted the release and a reading by Blevins.
I think of it as like, almost therapy, and I think that readers feel the same way, that you can make a connection with somebody and go, I've been there, I've experienced that, I know the emotion that's being described there, and that maybe it's a bit of catharsis.
Blevins has been nominated for several awards for her writing. Downtown Joplin Building is getting a new look. The Alliance Southwest Missouri is resuming fundraising for a remodel of their building on 1601 South Wall. The Alliance was forced to bring a temporary end to the campaign because of this pandemic, but it's back on with the goal to raise $25,000 by year's end.
They're excited. They see the potential for their programs and how they can better serve their clients with the building. And so they're very excited for this to be finished so that they have access to run their programs more efficiently and effectively.
The building is around 116 years old. Well, supply chain issues could lead to a boom in the thrift store business. Tired Up's Thrift for the Holidays report surveyed 2,000 shoppers. Almost 50% are considering alternatives like thrift stores or consignment shops for gifts. This as inflation and supply chain pressures weigh on consumers. 62% said secondhand apparel gifts are, quote, more socially acceptable now than 5 years ago. And 66% say they're now open to receiving a secondhand gift. Defense attorneys called witnesses for the final day in the trial over the fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery. Prosecutors began the day cross-examining one of the defendants, Travis McMichael. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has more.
Defense attorneys in the fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery continue making their case Thursday. Travis McMichael, one of 3 defendants charged in Arbery's killing, returned to the witness stand. The defendants argue they suspected Arbery of robbery and were trying to conduct a citizen's arrest. Under cross-examination, McMichael testified the 25-year-old black man's demeanor was suspicious when he first questioned him about a possible crime in the neighborhood. But McMichael says Arbery never yelled or threatened him.
Hasn't verbally threatened you?
Verbally, no.
Still running with his hands at his sides?
Directly towards me, yes, ma'am.
Prosecutors also questioned McMichael on why he did not include some details of Wednesday's testimony in his written statement to law enforcement, including telling Arbery police were on the way.
I just killed a man. I had blood on me still. It was the most traumatic event of my life. I was scared to death.
I'm talking about giving your statement 2 hours later at a police station. You were nervous because you thought you were going to jail, right?
No. I gave him a statement.
Meantime, hundreds of ministers and supporters gathering outside the Glenn County Courthouse Thursday. The rally was organized by Reverend Al Sharpton after defense attorneys claimed ministers inside the courtroom could intimidate jurors.
I came to the trial to console them, because you can't imagine the pain of a mother to sit there and look at the killers of her son.
That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
But a bit later, capitalizing on a growing trend of selling imperfect fruits and veggies.
Well, it turned out to be a chilly day for us today, but at least we had the sunshine across the region after a cold start. It's going to be another cold night for us tonight. It's getting cold out there as we speak. Nice live shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but it looks pretty good. Still, we have clear skies. We are going to get some clouds in here by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. Look at our temps. Most of us upper 20s to near 30. We're going to continue to drop off a little bit more as we go through the overnight hours. The winds have kind of decreased to near calm, and of course with clear skies it allows those temperatures to drop off. Looks good. 7th in range line, currently sitting at 31. Our dew point is 23. This will come up a little bit. That number will go down. Probably end up at about 26 or 7 later on tonight, but nothing going on here. We have clear skies, and really the entire Central Plains pretty much clear. You can see some clouds developing out across western parts of Kansas, and that will start to affect us by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. But our weather looks pretty good the next couple days. You can see this little ridge of high pressure. Then here's our next wave, which is going to push in by the time we head into Saturday night and Sunday, giving us some cooler weather once again for early next week. Cold tonight, mid-20s, clear skies. We do have the almost total lunar eclipse, and it's the longest partial lunar eclipse that we've had in over 500 years, so quite some time. Southerly winds will pick up for us tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures a little bit warmer than what we saw today. 6 a.m. 27, 50 by noon, 54 as we head into the afternoon. South winds at about 5 to 15. Clouds work out tomorrow night, and as we head into Saturday, not as chilly Saturday morning. We'll start into lower 40s. Clouds kind of back in Saturday afternoon, but temperatures better. I think most of us are going to go 60, 61 degrees by the time we head into Saturday. So Saturday looks good. And then Saturday night, a few random showers may try to pop up, especially in our southern counties. Another cold front kind of sinks in. Still Sunday in general looks pretty good. We're going to go into the upper 50s, but then that colder air is going to filter in by Monday, and we're going to struggle to get out of the 40s once again. We go the other direction. Tuesday, warming up. Wednesday, warming up. And then by the time we head into Thanksgiving, here comes our next storm system, cooling down, chances for rain increasing, may even mix with a little bit of snow by the time we head into Black Friday. So that's something we're going to keep our eyes on over the next week. 54 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, 58 on Sunday, down to 47 on Monday, 57 on Tuesday, 60s on Wednesday, and then 50s for Thanksgiving. Jordan?
Doug, thanks again. Coming up in sports, Pitt State women play their home opener against St. Mary. Going to have those highlights. Also, Carl Junction girls entering the season with an experienced roster and high expectations. Jacob Letter has that and more next.
The Pitt State women's basketball team is 1-1 in their first 2 games of the season. After being on the road for the first 2, the Gorillas play at home this afternoon for the first time this season. Pitt State hitting the floor against the St. Mary Spires. Seniors leading the way early. Julia Johnson off the pass from Jamie Jackson. Still in the first quarter, Tristan Gegg connects from deep. Then another senior, Aaron Davis, knocks down a 3. Gorillas up 8 after 1. They really got going in the second. Sydney Crane, good first half, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Pitt State leads 51-29 at the break. The second half, freshman Grace Pyle hits the 3 from the far side. Big game for her. More on that in a second. Jenna Shipley did work today on the glass. 9 offensive boards, finished with 12 points, 9 rebounds. Jamie Jackson, also an efficient day. Goes 5 for 9 from the floor, finishes with 15 points. But back to Grace Pyle, her first home game in a Gorilla uniform, 5 for 8 from 3. The freshman leads the Gorillas in scoring, also grabs 8 rebounds. Pitt State wins 99-57. 10 players score 5 or more, led by Grace Pyle and her team high 19.
It felt good to just watch the ball go through the net. It gave me a lot of confidence as a shooter, and my teammates were picking me up. They never counted me out. They kept giving me the ball, and I was just so appreciative of all their positivity that they've given me this week, and it felt good to step up and hit the shot.
We've been excited about Grace, since the day we recruited her and signed her, and I think it's just a matter of time. Everybody on our team knows that Grace has done a great job in the preseason. She's done a great job in our early practices. She's in the gym all the time. She's in the gym at 6 a.m., and that's what you want to see. She's a great leader.
The Carl Junction girls basketball team is just 11 days away from their first game of the season. The Bulldogs head into their schedule with experience and some high expectations. Danny Terzer catches up with the team as they prepare to make another postseason run this winter.
The Carl Junction Bulldogs are gearing up for what they hope is yet another dominant season.
There's a lot of pressure and stigma, I think, around our team just because of our teams in the past. And so being a part of a couple of those who have been super successful has just, I think, made us want to work harder every day. And hopefully we rise to the occasion and just do our best.
Good move. Good move.
Carl Junction has won 6 straight district championships. Last year, they finished the season 18-9.
Our kids kind of understand how to play the game, and when it gets kind of tight and the pressure, feel the pressure and mounts up, our girls do a great job with that. They handle that very well.
The Bulldogs are returning 4 starters from last year's district championship team.
It definitely helps a lot with just trusting each other on the court, and just the energy we have together on the court really has an impact on how we play.
Run and see if you get something out of this.
We already have that leadership, so to be able to show the girls who are new just kind of what our team is about helps us so much from the start.
Hands up, hands up!
Destiny Berge returns for her junior season. Berge led the Bulldogs last season, averaging about 25 points per game.
Being able to score in high amounts, but at the same time get others involved so that they can score high amounts, I think will be a big key for her.
I just hope that I can still make my teammates better and push them to be the best and just play my game and not stress about anything.
The Bulldogs also get Kylie Scott back. Scott missed part of last season due to an injury.
She can average a double-double. She can rebound the ball very well. She can score it well. Obviously, her size at 6'1" and her athleticism give her an advantage over a lot of kids. She's a matchup nightmare for some teams. She brings so much energy and so much discipline inside the paint. She can also shoot it well from outside, so we're excited to see what she can do.
In Carl Junction, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
Carl Junction opens the season hosting the CJ Classic beginning on November 29th. Pittsburgh State quarterback Max Sexton is entering the transfer portal and leaving the team after 4 seasons with the program. Sexton made 10 starts this year, throwing for 2,180 yards and 16 touchdowns, both career highs. Sexton racked up 4,883 passing yards in 3 seasons playing for the Gorillas, which puts him 6th all-time on the PSU career passing list. He leaves Pittsburgh State with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Now that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
A unique concept, making a business selling the imperfect produce usual grocery stores just don't want. Fox's Eliana Sheriff has more on Misfits Market and how they are bringing jobs to Utah.
If you've ever had a garden, what we sell here is what you're growing in your garden.
One man's trash
We rescue food
is another's treasure here at Misfits Market. Imperfect produce is getting a new purpose. Director of Operations Alex Stewart says he initially was shocked how normal this misfit produce appeared.
I started up the facility here in Utah about a year ago, and I was walking up and down the line and I was looking at the produce and I'm like, did we get like an incorrect shipment? What's going on? And they're like, oh no, this is what it is. This is what's rejected by grocery, and I'm just blown away.
Around 40% of organic produce grown goes directly to landfill because it doesn't meet size or shape requirements of a traditional grocer.
So here are some examples of produce that grocery stores won't accept, but they have a home here at Misfits Market.
That's where the idea for Misfits Market was born, and why today they've shipped over 15 million boxes to people's doorsteps nationwide, and their business is expanding.
We're such a major hub for traffic, for growth, for population growth, and having a business like this here, it fits in well with Utah values.
And it's giving people in West Jordan more opportunities.
Well, this is bringing lots of jobs to West Jordan, and the part I like about that is people in West Jordan don't have to leave the city to go to work. That reduces traffic, that reduces air pollution.
Eliana Sheriff, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Next, a new Netflix thriller starring Sandra Bullock. Gonna talk to the cast. Sandra Bullock leading a star-filled cast in Netflix's new gripping drama, The Unforgivable. Based on a British miniseries, Bullock stars as an ex-con seeking redemption. She shares how it gave her a lot of insight into stories not often told on screen. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
you're going to pay for what you did.
Sandra Bullock leads Netflix's The Unforgivable as a woman released from prison after serving 20 years for murder, searching to reconnect with her younger sister.
What new territory did this character offer you in both research and performance?
Insight into how I might have been extremely judgmental about humanity, and it turns out you just don't know the full story. I learned so much on my journey to find my daughter about the foster care system and the journeys of people who were given a deck of cards in life that I was lucky enough not to have been given. Pure luck.
Bullock is glad to tell a story not often told, and through a mystery thriller.
If we can give you relief for a couple of hours and slide in their social commentary on giving people a little less judgment and a little more of your time listening to really understand where they came from, I feel lucky that we got to make that.
You are not a victim! Viola Davis, Rob Morgan, and Vincent D'Onofrio co-star, each offering different perspectives to think about.
When people are re-entered back into society, how are they treated? One, do they deserve a second chance? Two, and then who is in authority to say if they should get a second chance, yes or no?
People draw a line at certain things. I know I do, but in most cases, no matter who they are or what they believe in or where they're from or their religion or the color of their skin, you want to keep in mind that most people deserve a second chance in life.
Okay. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a record-breaking skydive in Arizona. Thank you. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.